What is going on, friends, family, and fellow resellers? I'm Tom, the Queen City Picker, and I want to welcome you to the 6th showing of Let's Talk About It. Tonight we have Deb and Bridget on our panel, and hopefully we'll have some other people showing up, and we're going to talk about shipping. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're just going to go ahead and get started on. And let's just start by
Sorry.
what kind of handling time do y'all use?
I use 2-day handling because all my listed items are in a storage unit. So 1 day really doesn't work for me. So I use a 2-day.
I'm still using 2-day. I was using 2-day because of the weather, but I'm finding I'm going to stick a little longer with 2-day until I get my inventory straightened out. Because sometimes it'll take me a day to find something that I have no idea where it is. How about you, Tom?
I have 1 day, and that's just because I like stuff now. That's the reason I like Amazon is because I'm in South Charlotte, and there's like 2 warehouses above us and 1 in Columbia, and even when we have 2-day delivery, we'll get it the next day. So when I buy something, I want it, and I want it now. So I do 1 day handling, and usually I say 1 day handling. It's at the post office no later than the end of the next business day.
I'll probably be switching back to 1 day once I go through my inventory and get it straightened up.
Yeah, see, I can't, because all our stuff is at storage. You know, it's 5 minutes away, but still. But when I have like 30, 40 items to pack in 1 day, it's kind of hard to get everything out.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I have everything behind me in these boxes, and then I have some larger things that are out in the storage building that's connected to the house, a utility room like thing. So I don't have to travel, and of course I don't have to deal with snow.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, True. Good to see you tonight.
Hey, Liz.
Cindy, it's great to see you in here tonight too. She's starting her computer.
So how about the people in the chat? What's your handling time?
Liz says she has 1 day, but she's thinking about changing to 2.
Okay.
How about you, Cindy? What kind of handling time you got? She might be listening and not really paying attention to what's going on. And Tara said she had to restart her laptop.
Oh, okay.
Where do you get your shipping supplies from?
Me?
Yeah.
We have a source here that we get our bubble wrap in our box, some of our boxes. What else do we get from there? That's it. Bubble wrap and boxes. And it's called Acker Pack, and it's the same company that supplies the UPS stores around.
Oh.
So it's kind of like a direct place that we get them from.
I get my stuff from all over the place. Sometimes I'll get it off of Amazon. Sometimes I'll get it off of eBay. Then I noticed that 3 of my brothers buy from Amazon, and they throw the boxes away plus the packing stuff. So before they do that, I go and grab all the bubble wrap and whatever boxes I can use.
A lot of the bigger boxes we get from the dumpster, honestly. Chris likes this one size box he gets from Party City all the time. So
yeah, that's good.
I get mine from eBay, using the coupon. And then I buy, if I have something I really need a really odd size box for, I'll go to like Lowe's if it's a big box, or I'll go to Walmart if it's you know, just a different size box that I don't have. I do cut boxes down, and somewhere around here I've got patterns to make my own boxes, you know, for like little small stuff. And the pattern is made out of a piece of wood, and I just basically set it down on top of the board and then just run around it with an X-Acto knife, fold it up, tape it together. It looks good.
It depends too, like I guess it depends too what everybody's shipping. Like with me, if I sell a bracelet or a bigger statement necklace, I'll put it in one of those. I get the coupon, so I get the eBay boxes, the 6x4x4.
I love those boxes.
Yeah, me too. I got like a whole bunch of them, and then I ended up getting, I forgot what size they are, but they're the eBay, the poly bags, but they're the bubble.
Yep, the bubble bit. Yep.
And they're not the small ones. They're a little bit bigger. So if I'm putting like something that's flat in there, like a statement necklace that's flat, I'll wrap that in tissue paper and then bubble wrap, and I'll stick it in there. And sometimes I can just fold it right over the mailer. So I use that. And then for like the clothes, like if I sell a shirt or something, I just use the eBay. I think it's a 12. I'm very bad with measuring. The 12. It's just a poly mailer bag. The one that I forgot what size it is.
Liz says she likes Ulta recycling bin for boxes, and I found a lot of bubble wrap in the Ulta dumpsters. A lot of bubble wrap. So
our Ulta, they have their dumpsters in a fence, and it's locked. Because they've had too many people going there. They don't have a problem with people going into the dumpster and taking stuff, but when you take the stuff out and you just take what you want and leave all the stuff on the ground, they've gotten pissy with that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they have usually the same size bubble wrap. Because I don't use the 3/16 bubble wrap. I use the 5/16 bubble wrap for all my items. So
I use, for the jewelry, I don't know what size it is. It's just the tiny ones, the tiny bubble wrap.
The 3/16, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike, also known as the Crazy Card, says
listen to him.
6x6x4 blow, 8x6x4 rock.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, good afternoon, evening, Mike.
Another thing is Staples. If you have a Staples near you, you can get boxes, and if you buy more than 5 boxes, they give you a discount.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know. We have a Staples right up here. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, because if you run out of a box that you need, you need it now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good to know.
Since we're talking about packing, boxing, and shipping your materials, let's jump to this one that my brilliant friend Deb suggested. It says, what is, as a buyer, what have you ordered and it has come to you wrapped or shipped in crazy materials?
I can't answer that because I don't really buy a lot from eBay.
I ordered a book and it came in. Hey, chick, come on in.
Yeah, chick.
Chick. She is our chick. I ordered a book and it came like they had taken a cereal box and opened it up, stuck it in there, and now it was nice and crisp creases, but it was a freaking cereal box. I don't know what kind of protection they were thinking that book was going to get. But
I had a DVD come in a cracker box, one of the bigger Nabisco cracker boxes, and they just like put it in the. It was funny because what they did is they cut the box in like the side and then did it inside out. So it's like I was like, well, this is a weird looking box, and you could hear the DVD like rolling around in there, and I go and open it and I see Keebler crackers, and I'm like, what? I had another one that was, what was it that I had gotten? I forget what it was I had gotten, but the box itself, that the packaging, they took like magazine covers that were like really hard, and they sewed them together with needle and thread. So it was really, really Frankenstein together. And then I got, I have one of those, I have 2 half mannequins, the ones that hang on like the door or the wall. And I got a female and a man, and I think I have a child. I'm not sure. I forget. They came bubble wrapped. That was it, with all the packing tape around it, the clear packing tape, and just the label, shipping label on it. So I thought that was kind of weird.
You know, I've heard other resellers talking about crazy stuff that they have received, and if they hadn't really wanted that item, they would have sent it back because it was so cheaply packed.
So I've heard some people they used as their packing material diapers, not dirty diapers, clean diapers, female pads. What else? Tom's laughing.
God, I wish Todd was here.
Feminine hygiene.
The next time you send out another 14-karat gold watch, now wrap it tightly in a lady's feminine protection pad and ship it to them.
The extra wide with wings.
You don't want that thing to get wet nowhere.
No. There is one thing that you have to be really careful with, because someone had sent me, it was the first lot of salt and pepper shakers that I bought, which are long tail. So if you want to sit on those for a while, go right ahead. I'm never buying them again like that. Anyway, some of them are really old, so they have that crackling in them.
Right.
And this woman packed them in the bubble wrap. Now, the bubble wrap stuck to the paint. And it wasn't because it was hot or anything. It's just, it stuck to the paint and it peeled it off. So I have this pair of pears that are all chipped because all the paint came off. So when you ship something that has any crackling on it that is porcelain or paint or ceramic, make sure you do it in tissue paper first and then the bubble wrap, so you don't have the paint peel and stick to the.
We've never ever had anything stick to the bubble wrap. I don't think. That's weird.
Well, it might also be the case where you're shipping to or from. If it's real hot, then
right,
it might.
It could have
stick.
Yeah, I think I got those in the summertime. I was just like,
yeah,
oh,
if she had them listed and she put them in bubble wrap and then put them up in an attic or something like that, and it was really hot, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Next question.
What kind of equipment do you use?
Equipment?
Yeah, equipment. Scales.
For your shipping.
Yeah, for your shipment.
For shipping?
Shipping.
We use a platform scale that has the little LCD thing separate. So when we have big boxes, because a lot of times we ship big things, we'll be able to still see the weight.
Right.
I use a Dymo 4XL label printer. And tape. My eBay tape. I usually just use eBay tape. So, and Priority tape.
Now, do you use the eBay tape with eBay on it? Is that the eBay tape you're talking about?
Yeah, the kind you get with your coupon. Yep. That's what we use. And we use a, what are those called? Resizers? We use one of those.
What is that?
Is that what it's called, a resizer?
Yeah, resizer.
It's
where
where
it
you
breaks,
put it-
you can
yeah,
readjust the box.
Oh, okay.
Right, for big boxes, yeah.
I don't ship heavy things or large things, so I use that small digital scale that goes up to 50 pounds.
Mhm.
And sometimes I use eBay tape, but I also use like clear packing tape. I use Scotch tape because I tape shut the bubble wrap sometimes. I have like really small pieces of jewelry, so I don't want to use like packing tape to wrap around that. What was the other thing?
Sorry, I'm trying to.
I think that's that's everything that I use.
Yeah, I don't.
I just use a scale and a carpet knife, and
a box cutter.
Yeah, box cutter.
I have scissors, and I have an X-Acto knife. I have one of those. What are they called? Mechanical blades, I guess.
Right.
I have a pink box cutter.
Oh. I have a Craftsman knife that has a blade in it. That one I like really a lot. It cuts very well. And I have an HP printer, which is actually a photo printer, but I only get the black ink for it. That's what I use now. I do have a Dymo, and I need to try cleaning it to see if it'll work. If not, I'm going to sell it as is and try getting another one.
Yeah, that should work. Probably just needs to be cleaned.
I was looking at the roller, and it had sticky stuff on it, so I'm like, oh,
yeah.
God, please.
Yeah, try cleaning it up.
Yeah.
I have, I told a story. I have 2 of those paper cutters. Both of them have come out of storage units.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and those like blade paper cutters?
Yeah, the blade ones.
Yeah.
And both of them have come from those, and we didn't, I paid probably 10 cents for it. Mary, we're talking about shipping.
What's Mary talking about? Oh, she want to know what we're talking about?
What are we talking about it?
Shipping.
I don't really have a lot. I would like to have a bigger scale. I would like to have one that you can stand on the floor. You could either put it up here on the table or set it down on the floor. And
that's what I
do it. But I really don't have a need for it right now. So I always look for a good deal on one.
Tom, go to Amazon because they're not that expensive.
Yeah, that's where I got my little scale from Amazon. I think mine cost $17 something.
I think ours goes up to 150 pounds, and it's one of the platform ones, and I think it was 25 to 30.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
So,
Tara says the link doesn't work for her.
Huh.
Would you try sending it to her?
That's weird. But I used to.
Y'all came in through it without any problem, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
We used to back in the day before we started getting all fancy. We we had a laser printer, and we would just print. We would buy from auctions. We could get printer paper, and we would copy paper, and we would. It doesn't matter what size, and we would take the guillotine paper cutter like you were talking about. We'd cut the paper to size, and we would print our labels on that and tape them on the package. So that's what we used forever, for years, until about 2 years ago is when we got the Dymo.
I used to use for filler paper when I worked in Rock Hill, all our bad blueprints and things like that. I would just crunch. I'd bring them home with me and crunch them up, and because it's a real heavy paper,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So you could just crush it up and it would hold its shape, and it was cheap.
Oh, get it.
Sometimes I'll use tissue paper. At Christmas time, I went and bought every single package of tissue paper that Dollar General had for 10 cents a piece.
Oh, I remember you did that.
And we use the what do you call that? Like we get it from U-Haul. It's the newspaper print, I guess, paper, whatever you call it.
Oh, the brown paper. Or
yeah,
just lighter.
With a light tan color, yeah.
Yeah, I got with my brother's ordering from Amazon, there was a bunch of the brown paper, the craft paper, so I rolled all that up into a roll.
Mm-hmm.
I told Tara to use to scroll up and use that other link, the one that you sent the first time, Tom.
Okay. Sorry, I'm having to take care of some housekeeping here.
Housekeeping.
Yeah, the boss lady is having to put out a fire for her VP, and she's still at the office. I told her to just stop and pick up something that she wants to eat on the way home. Do you ever have to build Frankenstein boxes?
Do we ever have to build Frankenstein boxes, Chris? Yeah, pretty much every day. Oh, yeah.
We're told he's the expert.
Yeah. I tell him he has to do it because it hurts my hands to do it.
Aww.
No, he does all the big things. He does all the big shipping, so. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
Your link, Bridget's link worked. The two that were in there would not work for me.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, let's get Tara catch up here. So, Tara, do you use 1 or 2? What's your handling time?
2 days. We did back when it mattered, when you could get the shipping discount for 1 day. We tried it, but we were selling more stuff back then because we were really hitting it. Between that and if you had to build crates in between, we were selling a lot of big stuff. It was too much. We just couldn't. The 2 days gave us that little bit of flexibility. If he had something big that he had a crate or something,
Right.
it made it a little easier for us. We tried 1 day for a long time, and we just it would get to be too much for us to keep up. If we had a lot of shipments, and we'd get a lot of shipments, and like I said, we'd have like 1 or 2 big things that be out there crating, and it was too much. So we went to 2-day quite a while ago, and we just stayed with it.
Where do you get your shipping supplies from? Any place particular?
We'll order some. We use eBay shipping supplies with whatever we get with our subscription. We will order some first class shipping supplies, like a 4x4x4 box that we buy off of eBay, and I can't remember. We just go on there and figure out what's the best deal. We'll go to Dollar General. I have a Dollar General. It's about 5 minutes from my house, and when they do their like new inventory comes in, they put those rolling carts out behind Dollar General. They're real cool with me. I just go take whatever boxes I want. So I'll use like recycled used boxes. We go to Menards a lot, and we buy a lot of sheet foam that comes in a 4x6 sheet, and we use a lot of that in shipping. And you can buy boxes at Menards now, and bubble wrap and stuff like that. So we go to Menards too quite a bit for stuff.
And a Menards
is like a
that
Lowe's.
doesn't have one.
It'd be like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or something like that.
Okay. Have you ever bought anything from eBay and it come weirdly packed?
I bought a cast iron horse, and the leg got broke off, and I didn't even return it. I was really cool about it. I told her, I'm like, yeah, you probably could have packed it better. The leg broke off. I think I can fix it. It was a saddlebred horse, and I kind of wanted it. She shipped it in a 12-pack beer box. She turned inside out, and it came from Massachusetts, and it was some kind of weird pumpkin ale beer. I can't remember what the brand name was, but it wasn't like Budweiser or a mainstream brand. It was like some kind of like craft beer. They came in this inside out beer 12-pack box. Do you have one?
Yeah, I got a real doozy. Somebody sends Tara. I mean, it's Tara's birthday present. I buy her this Arctic Cat helmet. It's real nice. It's got the electric Arctic Cat heated shield. It's got Arctic Cat graphics all over it. It's
expensive.
If it's even used, it's a nice. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a couple $100. So I'm like, I get the box, and the box looks like it was dropped off the Empire State Building. I mean, it's all, but there's like nothing to it. I open up this. He put it in this huge box with like no padding. It's just bouncing around in this enormous box, and the box is all smashed. And I'm like, oh man, if this thing's wasted, I'm gonna be so mad. I couldn't leave him bad feedback though. The helmet, it was in perfect condition. It was just a dumb look. But I'm like, oh man, I mean, you are so lucky. I think of the things now that early on when I shipped them, how I should have packed them better, and I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like a time machine, so I go back in time and kick my own self in the butt for the bad way I used to pack stuff. But we're a lot, we learn by doing. I mean, we do a lot better now. We don't have many damage problems.
Yeah.
Yep, I think the 6-pack of beer one is the best one.
Oh yeah, you definitely learn by doing for sure.
Oh,
well, I didn't ship it. That's something that was shipped to me. I never shipped in a food container in my life.
No.
I have turned a food container inside out.
Oh my god! Amateur hours.
If I gotta make first class, I gotta make first class. That's the only thing I have enough cardboard.
Oh boy!
Did you turn the what inside out?
A food box. It was like a Cheez-Its cracker box.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Guilty as charged.
Oh my god!
And the next question, while Jim is standing here, do you use Frankenboxes?
I'll telescope a box all day long. I don't care.
Yep.
The priority mailboxes, the post office is totally okay with it. I mean, I'll send something in my zone where it's like $8 to ship this huge box of 8x those number 7 12 by 12 by 8 boxes. I'll telescope that sumbitch. It'll be
okay. Easy. We're live with the SOB talk.
But anyway, I telescope that thing, and I mean, I bet you it'll cost. I'll pay like $8 to ship it, and I'll bet you it costs the post office, $10 in boxes, because the post office is paying through the nose for those boxes. It's the government. They're going to buy them the stupidest way possible. So.
Oh yeah, we do the same thing. We stack those things up, or
like I call them
boxes.
Yeah, the shoebox, the 15 by 8 by 6. We've telescoped those together.
I mean, I do a good job though. I mean, I do it good. I use as many boxes as they're free. Yeah. I use as many boxes as it takes to make a good telescope.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I buy gas tanks for vehicles. Every time I buy a gas tank from somewhere, I buy like those truck saddle tanks. They always come in telescope boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. They.
Now, when you do a moose head, or you do something that you can't put in a traditional box because of its weight or its size, Jim, you build custom like frames and whatnot. You going to tell us how you do that? And I'm going to put a link. He's got a great video of where he's building a wood frame box to ship something in, and I'm going to put a link. So later on, come in, or if Tara can jump out and put it in the chat right now.
Hey, Tom, I'm going to head out.
Okay.
Okay, Bridget, thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Oh, see, Bridget.
Good night, Bridget.
Bye.
Bridget, you're going to miss my riveting crate story.
I watched your video.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I blew into Hollywood and I read for this part, and they let me do this crating video. But yeah, I buy those. Again, you can get them at any home like Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards. I do the 3/4 inch by 1 inch.
Chipboard.
No, the what do they call them? Furring strips.
Right.
Oh,
Okay, I think they're one.
they're not quite a 2x2.
Yeah, they're like 1 1/4 by maybe 3/4 of an inch dimension. Anyway, but they come in 8-foot lengths, and they're gotten more expensive. I think they're about $1.15, $1.20 a piece now. They used to be 80 cents. But anyway, that's what I use for the framing to make the square, and then I attach to that. I usually use 1/4 inch oriented strand board because it's lightweight and durable enough to take the beating, and I nail them together with a Boss Stitch brad nailer. The brads, if you don't know what they are, they're what you use to put up like crown molding or the trim around your doors and stuff in your house. It's a very skinny nail. The reason you do it with the brad nailer is you don't want to try to drive a nail in that thin type of wood, because the nail will just split it. I mean, you need an air gun to pop the nails in there. But then once you have those supplies, and I'll put up the link to the video. Once you have those supplies, because you're going to do obviously multiple crates. I mean that small air compressor and the air nailer are going to pay for themselves many times over. And I use that for things that will go UPS, like over 100-pound items. Something very big and delicate that if the box gets crushed, like a deer head with antlers, it's not the weight of the deer head. It's the fact that if the box gets crushed, the antlers are going to be spoiled. I mean, it's going to mess up the whole mount. Or like
ears are very fragile.
A swordfish, they have the delicate nose. I'll drill holes into the OSB and then wire the fish in one spot, so it doesn't move around in there. Because I mean, I don't care if you're wrapping bubble wrap. I mean, it won't take much jarring, and you'll damage a sailfish mount pretty easily.
Right.
So.
But it has to be it has to be worth money for you.
Oh yeah. And the value has to be there, because it probably takes me usually about 2.5 hours to create something.
So it better be like a couple $100.
Oh, and another tip is you need to wrap the whole thing when you're done with the OSB, and it's a $12 or $13 charge that FedEx will put on. I don't know if UPS does it also, but FedEx definitely. There is a charge if you send a wood box that's not wrapped in cardboard. They'll dun you for that. It's $12 or $13, but that's not the kicker. The problem is every time I do send one that I didn't wrap, I'm like, the hell with it. I don't have time. I'm just gonna send out in the wood. They'll give me some other surcharge. I don't know if it's because they're angry it's not in cardboard, but I'll tell you 100% of the time when I send one that's not wrapped in cardboard, I'll get at least one additional surcharge. So that's why I always wrap them in cardboard now. It's worth the extra amount. And for that, I use an electric, like an Arrow stapler or any brand stapler. You can use a hand stapler when you start out, but it's hard to do when you do that many staples. So I bought an electric stapler. They're cheap, like $15. And with that electric stapler, I'll staple the cardboard to the outside of the box, and that works pretty good. And that's my amazing story of creating.
I think we have 2 crating videos. Is that old Forge one on there?
And I'll put them. How do I put them in the thing?
Well, you could probably put them off. You'd have to go on regular YouTube.
Okay, and if I go on there, I can put them in the chat.
Yeah, because I'm a wrench. You go in on.
Do you have to be in a wrench to put them in?
I think so.
Okay, I'll do it off this one.
Are you still on there?
Yeah, I'm still. Everybody's listening to me babble on.
Oh.
Do you really heavy stuff? Do you build crates around it too, or it just depends on what it is?
No, well, yeah, real heavy stuff. It's helpful. Like if you're sending like cast iron
engine.
Or an engine. Yeah, for engines, I'll use on the bottom. I'll use like a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. And I actually use bolts to bolt the engine down. I use the engine's actual motor mounts. I'll bolt them to the heavy piece of plywood on the bottom, and then I do the rest of the crate as normal.
Do we crate bigger lower units?
Bigger lower units, bolt motor lower units. Sometimes I'll crate.
We get a lot of stuff here like post vices and big old antique drill presses.
Yeah, like an antique drill press. It'll be like sometimes they're just weird, and it's just easier for me to frame something up than it is to find some way to get a cardboard box that's going to fit it.
That won't break through.
Yeah, and then you're trying to like put craft paper in there or whatever to keep it from breaking through. And I just rather, it's going to take me a while, but I'd rather just do the crate. But also, it's got to be something that's worth money. I'm not going to crate something that's $50.
How about like you? I know y'all ship outboard motor lower units.
Yeah, and
Is
I
it-
have crated those. It depends on the lower unit. If it's one that the shaft doesn't come out easily, some of them the drive shaft just slides out. Some of them the drive shaft doesn't slide out and it's fixed. Then it's a long flat box. Those I'll usually crate. If the shaft comes out, sometimes I can get away with putting them in a box and just shrink wrapping them to a piece of wood like that 1/4-inch OSB. I'll just shrink wrap that with an inch piece of foam. I'll shrink wrap it to that and then put it inside a cardboard box. That's adequate. But when you get the box gets real long, it gets weaker. So I don't want that shaft and the bearing and the seal and stuff to get damaged. So if the shaft does not come out, then I will usually crate it. Or if I send a whole motor, I'll usually crate it.
Yeah, but usually those are only like 2 horses. We don't. Or
Yeah.
maybe a 5, but nothing bigger than that.
I totally forgot what I was going to say now.
Me too.
Oh.
I forget too.
We'll just go on to the next question.
There you go.
I know.
Well,
My wife is asking me stuff, and I'm like, have one of the rent-a-cops walk you out to your car, and blah blah blah. And she's like, I'm bigger than she is, and blah blah blah. Have you ever shipped to a celebrity or a museum or to like a production company, anything like that?
Yeah, sure is Evil Dead.
Yeah. Who goes first?
You can go ahead.
Oh, I actually never have had any of that happen yet. So go ahead, Jim.
I love that ring.
Oh, thanks.
We sent we sent a backpack to Pixar. I don't know what the hell what they did with it. They didn't. I sent a message to them and they wouldn't tell me.
We had a Canadian TV show.
I had CSI
New
New Orleans. There's an episode called Drone On. It's about a young man whose father's gone off to Afghanistan or Iraq, and his I don't know. It's got something to do with drones. I asked what the episode was, and I never actually watched it. I feel bad to say that, but anyway, it was a model plane, a model airplane that's hanging in the kid's room.
Oh, cool.
I messaged the person and they told me exactly what scene it was going to be in and how it was going to be used. So that was neat. We sold a tab can to Stranger Things.
Oh, cool.
They went to or is it called Stranger Things? Yeah, with the Never or the Nether or whatever in the
Yeah, isn't that?
yeah with who's the shoplifting
Winona,
lady?
Ryder.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So there's a steel tab can. It cost them $52.
Yeah, they overnighted it.
It was a $6. I was selling it for $6. They had to have it overnighted. So by the time I was done, the can cost. They paid like $52 or $56 to get this stupid steel tab can. But then my favorite one was Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 3. When the intro comes on, you'll see there's a hardware store, and they're going across the hardware store that Ash is running. They'll run across a display with there's like 3 saws. One of them is a Black & Decker direct drive worm gear saw, and it went to New Zealand where they shoot it. And we sold them that saw, and I think that cost them to go to New Zealand. I think it cost about $300.
That is so cool. I love that series.
So I didn't watch enough of it to see if they actually
put it on Ash's arm.
Yeah, because when it started, I watched like the first four episodes. I'll have to watch the whole season and see if they ever actually put it on his arm. But it is in his hardware store in the opening credits. So it's like the third saw in the row. It's weird because it's like a cylinder that goes into where the blade, where it turns the blade or whatever. So it's not like a regular circ saw. It's got this extension where the motor. It turns a worm gear that actually turns the blade, so it's kind of this apparatus. So it's kind of a strange-looking circular saw.
That is so cool. I love Bruce Campbell, like his movies, and then he was in that TV show Burn Notice.
I never saw that, but yeah, I saw all the Evil Dead and the what was the first one? The one with where the cabin.
Yeah.
All the different versions. Was it Evil Dead? Was that the first?
I think it was.
Maybe that was the
Evil
title.
Dead.
But they made like the original, the black and white version, and then they did the color. Then they redid it with better, with better acting and some more polished version.
And then it was.
We used to play the video game all the time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Deb. What?
There was also he did the Evil Dead, but it was called the Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
With the car in the Middle Ages and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to read that thing from oh my God, what is that movie where they come back? The robot's going to destroy the Earth. Anyway, there's 3 words he's supposed to say. Those are the same ones from that old science fiction movie.
Are you talking about
the day the Earth stood still? Yeah. Those 3 words, that's the secret thing he has to say to make it so the book goes away. Those are those same 3 words. Well, anyway, yeah, he screws it up and he lies about it. He's like, no, I got it. Everything's good. And then, of course, the demons come and whatever.
Somebody's supposed to keep Tom on track, though.
Oh, okay.
I sold. There used to be a guy he's since passed away. He lived in a little small town out in the middle of nowhere. And he had probably 300,000 square feet of warehouse. And he had all of this stuff. And he would send truckloads of props to movie sets. And I sold a bunch of stuff to him. Now, I don't know what they were, things were used for.
Yeah. And we sold the prop houses too.
But he, when he passed away, he was single. His nephew and niece sold them to a huge prop house out in California. So so I've never sold anything directly to anything like that, but to a prop house I have. Which Deb and I were talking earlier. If I had something that a museum wanted and they were going to put it on display, I would just loan it to them.
I like money.
Pardon me?
I like money.
Well, I do that too. But
I mean, it sounds cool and stuff, but in the end, I still like money.
Oh boy.
I'm not being crappy.
Tara, do you sell that much stuff to museums and things like that? Is your child going to go hungry?
Yeah, but usually, in my estimate, you never sell low-end stuff to them. It's always going to be one of your better pieces, and I like money.
Now, do y'all drop off at the post office, or do you have pickups, or which one and why?
We take ours in. Because we have our son. We drive our son to school in the morning, and we pick him up in the evening or in the afternoon. So we usually do our drop off in the afternoon. We do FedEx, or we have a FedEx UPS store, and then we go to this part of a grocery store, and then we don't our post office stuff we take directly to the post office. And they let me. I buzz the back door, and they actually bring me the regular post office in shopping cart thing or whatever. It's a canvas in a cart thing that you throw the mail in, their mail sorting cart. They let me roll that out to my car. I load it up and then I roll it back to the store, back to the post office. Which works cool.
I have pickup, and I really don't even have to message them to pick up because my postmaster is pretty cool. We told our postmaster that retired. He told me right away. He was like, "I've been your postal server for a long time." He said, if you have a lot of stuff, he goes, just leave. I'll come back and get it. It's no big deal. And then he told Brian, the new guy, the same thing. So even if it's a lot of stuff, because my brother does reselling too, he'll just come back around. He'll swing back around and get it. And we don't have to call. But when he has someone who is taking his place, it's like, oh my God, the one time they didn't pick up, so we had to go to the post office.
I have a new. I just certain things I'll have them pick up. Usually I'm out every day, every morning. I'm taking somebody somewhere, so I'll just zip it by a post office. Um, but my postal carrier, the one that I had for years, she retired, and I could just leave stuff. If she drove by and there was stuff sitting on the back of my car, she stopped and picked it up. My carrier that I have, if people are looking for a job and you're willing to work, the postal office needs real workers. Because we went through 3 postal carriers before I got the one now, because they would skip every other house and things like that. And
yeah, I hate that because we have we live on a corner, so it's a corner, but our street, there's only like maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 houses, and in between, in like every second house starts a new block. So sometimes what happens is he'll go down this, we'll have a new person, they'll go down the street and they just automatically miss our house.
I had a real good relationship with the old carrier. I would leave like bottles of cold water, and I also know she drank Diet Coke. So I would take bottles of water and Diet Coke, and I would wrap it in aluminum foil and flip the flag up, and just, even if I didn't have any outgoing mail, I'd flip it up and stick something in there, water or a Diet Coke or whatever for. And so, if I had a bunch of stuff, she always said, though, if you have a bunch of stuff like priority mail, what is it, 1 o'clock in the morning is the cutoff?
I think so.
Go online and tell them, because they get extra time for each item that they have to stop to pick
I
up.
forgot about that.
So, if you got, that's a good thing to do to make, to help your postal carrier.
Now, I have to say, with our old postal carrier, like I said, he was our postal carrier for like 25 years. We've known him for a long time. There were times that I would buy something and like they shipped it out and I owed postage on it because they did it wrong, and he wouldn't collect the money. He'd just leave it in the mailbox for me. And I have had repeatedly tried giving him money. He said, no, it's okay. I was like, okay.
Oh, that was nice.
But then at Christmas time, we leave him something. Or we drive around and try and find him.
Do you charge exact shipping, or do you pad it some? Whether you call it handling or whatever.
Oh, put the handling charge on?
Yeah.
No, I don't do the handling charge. Now, a lot of times when you ship, they're going to end up paying a little bit more than we pay with our eBay discount. And do I give it back? No. Because sometimes, it might be a couple bucks. Sometimes it might be a couple cents. Sometimes it might go the other way and it's a couple dollars short. So, but I don't charge a handling charge.
I don't think you're allowed to charge a handling charge anymore.
No, I think they took
Did they take it away now?
I think they did.
Well, we never did. We did.
Yeah, we didn't use it. But
I've had some, I've seen like some people talk about, like say if it's $1 or $2 over, and they're like, oh, you should charge exact. That's not fair to the customer. It's like,
well, you do have cost and materials to make sure the thing is secured there. Bubble wrap. Oh, if you buy the box, the bubble wrap, the shipping wrap, anything you use. So that's cost. So
And they know what the shipping is when they get it. They know when they purchase it what the shipping is. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, go
I
buy it.
don't like make the box weigh more than what it actually weighs to boost up the shipping because that ain't going to help you. Because somebody that's in California, I mean, it's going to look absorbent for him in shipping fees. So I keep it right around what I mean. I'm pretty good at getting pretty close to what the exact box size it's going to be is, and I'm pretty good at the weight, like the shipping weight stuff.
One of the things that gets me is, since I'm dabbling in Poshmark, is that $6 was it $7 priority rate for up to £5?
Yeah.
Is that correct, Deb?
Yeah, it's something like that. I think they do that because I think they have a deal with the post office, but I think that's how they get their bundles, including the fees that they charge anyway.
Could you imagine the stuff that you could sell with with a $6? Well, no, it's $7. It's six something. Say a $7 shipping. How many 5-pound items you could probably sell and ship just because of the shipping doesn't make it so expensive?
Yeah,
I'm bad about going and using it, but you should be using Pirate Ship because you can have quite a bit of a discount between what eBay's shipping calculator is charging versus like Pirate Ship.
Right. Well, that was my next question, but since you've jumped in there,
Sorry, I was just interjecting it.
we're just kind of meander right on in there. Pirate Ship. I've started using it some time ago, but it just seemed like I never had there was no difference. And now all of a sudden I'm getting $2 difference, $4 difference in between eBay's and Pirate Ships.
Yeah, I mean, well, Jimbo does most of the shipping, so a lot of times I just go through the eBay calculator. And I'm not saying I'm right, but it's probably laziness on my part.
Oh my God. A woman said it does. I'm not saying I'm right. How about you, Deb? Do you use Pirate Ship?
I was using it, and it kind of, I don't know. It's not like it confuses me. Pirate Ship is cubic weight. So if you have something that's smaller but weighs more, is that how you use it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I always just check everything over there with them before I ship it. I think it's the larger boxes and heavier boxes is what pushes it over. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, I don't use it that much because.
Yeah, I mean, like, I bought a Monopoly Millennials board game off of Scott Zilke, and he shipped that from Alabama to Wisconsin in 2 telescoped priority, like, I call them a shirt box. They're like, 14 by 14 by 8 by 14 by 12 by 3. He telescoped 2 of those together, and he shipped off Pirate Ship, and I think it cost him like $6.70 on eBay shipping calculator. I mean, I could never ship something like that cheaper than $8.15.
Let's back up to the to what you just said. Can you take not like the flat rate priority boxes, but you can use regular priority boxes if you're shipping priority, and you can tape them together or whatever, however you need to. Is that correct?
Yeah. As long as they're not like a regional A or a regional B.
Right. Just plain old flat priority boxes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I've learned something tonight.
Well, that's why we do these shows, so we learn things and other people learn things.
Is there anything that you will not ship or you are scared to ship?
Scared? No. Will not ship? I will not. I won't. Well, will not ship. I will say will not sell. I won't sell something like a mounted duck mount. I won't mess with that, but that's more of an eBay thing. Something I would not ship. What's something we would not ship? I can't think of
Oh, you
anything.
mean it's too big or too heavy? Yeah, like a 10-speed bike.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
10-speed bikes, their dimensions are too big to ship. I won't ship anything freight. If it's freight, they have to make their own shipping arrangements.
We make them do their own shipping arrangements, but we have shipped freight with them doing their own arrangements because we shipped a gas pump and we
Yeah, but
shipped
they gotta
that.
send me the label.
Yeah. I can't think of anything. If it's enough money, I can't think of anything that I would say, "Oh, I would not ship it." It just has to be worth enough.
So when you say they have to arrange their freight, do you box it up or pack it up?
I call it
up, and
okay.
then
Like I'll use the gas pump. I shipped an antique gas
We'll
pump
strap it to a pallet.
to Tennessee. I mark it on my eBay listing as local pickup. I'll put in there that if you arrange your own, I will work with your shipping company or you arrange your own freight. So when they bought it, they arranged their own freight label. Semi came to pick it up. I charged them what I call a palletizing fee, where I strap that thing to a pallet
Which is
and then
$50.
and shrink wrapped it on there. And we usually charge $50 for that.
how tall was the pump, or did you like?
It was probably
About 4
like
foot.
4 foot, maybe a little over. It was like a 1960s style gas pump.
Yeah, it was like the square, like 1970s. What you'd expect when you used to pull in, and right when there was half the gas stations, you pump your own gas. Half the gas stations, they pumped it for you. About that vintage, I'd say early 1970s.
Hi, Mr. Sadie. Did you lay it down or did you have it upright?
Straight up and down. Nope, stood up on the pallet. I strapped it to the pallet, up straight up and down.
Yeah, they came with a semi that had a lift gate, and they lifted it up.
Yeah. I did video gambling machines too. Same thing. I strap them straight up and down on the pallet. But they're strapped tight. I mean, they're not falling over.
And we get those, like if you go to let's say Harbor Freight, you can get those. They're not very expensive. They're those. I call them those wimpy, ratchet straps.
Right.
They're not like the really good heavy one you'd strap down a load of hay with, but they're like the kind that are like an inch or an inch and a half wide. They're like ribbon straps. We use those to strap them down to the pallet.
Some stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to work for a grocery store. I used to unpack semi trucks at night, and that's what the stuff. All your groceries, they just use pallet wrap. They wrap the daylights out of it and put it on top of a pallet, and it stays on. Once that wrap, if you use enough of it, it ain't moving.
Yeah.
But that's why I charge $50 because I gotta procure a pallet, and I know I'm gonna blow a $20 roll of strapping material or wrapping material.
I worked part-time for Staples years ago, and we would get pallets in that it would, somebody would have to jump up on like the opposite side of the lean because they were getting ready to fall over the way they were stacked and then wrapped, and then boxes would collapse, and so the merchandise would start leaning. So somebody would get up on this side, just kind of keep it from falling over long enough to get it off the truck and on the solid ground.
Oh my God.
It was, and then our store manager, when she was on to the warehouse, just raising hell. Because she's like, one of my people are going to get killed, or because she was, people don't want to pay a new price for something that the box is all damaged on.
No.
And so, she was fast about just set all that damaged stuff on another pallet, wrap it up, and we're going to send it back.
Yeah, no, we didn't have nothing like that. The place I worked for, I can't even describe how strict they were. They fired a guy for eating an Oreo cookie that was in the trash bin. When you get damaged goods?
Yeah.
The kid walked by and he just took a bite. I don't know why he would. The back room's so dusty. He took a bite out of an Oreo cookie. Assistant manager spotted him and they fired him for theft on the spot. He'd been working for the company for 3 years. That was it. You're done. They considered it theft, and he was fired on the spot. So no, our pallets, I will say, they did come wrapped straight up and down. You could put a plumb bob next to them, and they'd have been perfectly straight. I mean, that company was a family company that owned probably 20 grocery stores. But I mean, the town I was working out of was the city where the family lived. So I mean, this was like the store that would bring people or other stores to look at. Like, this is the way your store should be run. And no, we never had no lean in pallets like that.
So, question: would you how would you or ship a porcelain tub?
Porcelain tub.
Holy
You know, those
shit!
old small.
Oh, you mean like a bathtub?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
How would I ship it? I would mark that sucker as local pickup and put in there, I will work with your freight company, and that would be about it.
Because Marcel has to figure out how to ship one of those suckers that we go pick up tomorrow because we're breaking the wall from Alabama, and we're going to Alabama tomorrow.
Oh boy!
And he got a freaking tub in there.
Where are you going?
I would do local pickup.
I would probably do local pickup because that's so. Like when I say like the gas pump, we shipped it, but part of the problem where I live, I'm up at the very top of Wisconsin. Okay, people with money come up to get stuff, so it's hard to get people to drive up by me. I honestly predict, I hope, when we live down in Kentucky, you're central enough located with somebody, you'll get a buyer that doesn't mind driving within that distance. And I would suspect because you're in North Mississippi that you'll get somebody. I would just list it local pickup. You're gonna get somebody that's just gonna come and get it, or they're gonna get like a U-ship type deal or whatever to come and get it.
Don't you? I mean, you must be. Yeah. I mean, in that area, do you have a lot of architectural restoration, like where people restoring like old houses and stuff?
They're just starting to do that, but they're not really as far as coming over on this area. They're looking more like in Texas and all that stuff.
In Middle Tennessee, I believe they might be.
That might work because it's a really old. It's like one of the old clawfoot, the real nice clawfoot ones.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're gonna pick that sucker up tomorrow.
Yeah, you're gonna need. I mean, it would have to be. You could wrap it to a long pallet. I mean, as long as they're gonna pay the shipping, though. Sure, I would get one of those if you go to like a furniture and appliance mart kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they'll have those 8-foot long. They're 8x4 pallets.
Yeah.
You could wrap it to one of those.
But on something like that, because the shipping's so high, we make them arrange their own shipping and send us the label. Because eBay, if you try to charge a freight shipping through eBay, eBay takes a commission on it. I mean, it's a pretty good bite of money. That costs that much to ship.
The other thing is what if you ship it? What if you charge them for the shipping? It winds up in another state, costs like $300 to ship, and they decide, you know what? I think there's a chip here that I didn't see in the description or some other small thing, and they want to return it.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
You take it, you chip it, you bought it out.
Exactly. That's why that way they ship it. It's their carrier. If there's a problem with it, it was all their deal. You know, you're not responsible for any damage in shipping or anything like that.
I just got to figure out how to get to the U-Haul truck tomorrow.
Yeah, they're heavy.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Can you find one with the lift gate on it?
They have one. They have the ramps. That's about it. But we'll make it work. We always do.
Make it work.
Yep.
Oh boy.
How about you, Deb? Do you have anything that you will not ship or don't want to ship, therefore you don't sell?
I'm scared to ship like wine glasses. I don't know how to pack them yet. Like
Bubble wrap the hell out of them.
Hurricane lamps with the thin glass. It's mostly glass.
I have a hard time with glass. It's kind of hit and miss with me too.
For me, glass has got to be worth something. Because if it's like something like a piece, let's say it's glass and it's worth $20, I don't even like messing with it because there's too much of a risk of breakage with it.
Yeah, I hate glass.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, if it was like a set, $100 set of 4 or 6 glasses, yeah, then I'm gonna attempt to ship it because it's worth enough. But if it's like $15-$20, I'm almost like, I'll find something that's easier to ship that I can make the same amount of money on.
Yeah, or maybe a little more.
Yeah,
that's the best way to do it.
It's the shipping thing. I've talked to several people that want to do eBay, but they get down to the shipping part of it, and they'll make through a couple of sales, and then they've done because they just say it takes too much time, and you can get stuff messed. You know, you can damage stuff while you're packing it, and yeah, it can be an issue, but you know, if not while the show's going on, but if I'm doing something else and I hear a ka-ching and I've sold something, I'll go pull what I need to pack and throw it in whatever I'm gonna pack it in and get it ready to go out the door. Because I'm one of these people that I'm scared I'm not going to find it if I wait till the last minute, or I'm gonna have to run out and buy something that to pack it in.
Right.
And
can you put that in that tote that has those folded clothes?
I like for it to be. I just like to have it done. I know it's ready to go, and unless the house, knock on wood, burns down, it's going to be ready to go to the post office.
Yeah. I suck.
Yeah, and our routine is. Oh, go ahead, Kathy. Sorry.
No, I just suck at shipping. I mean, I would be the last person to do.
I mean, yeah, I mean, stuff's gonna break when you ship. I mean, it's just part when you ship enough. Yeah, sometimes stuff's gonna get damaged, and it doesn't mean it's your fault. Or I don't stress about it. And then our routine is just, you know, every morning we pull the shipments that have to go, and usually, I mean, like yesterday, I did help Jim ship because he needed help catching up. But usually, Jim is shipping, and I'll be listing, and that's just kind of how we do it. And that's what we work on from, like, let's say the hours of 9 till 3 in the afternoon, because we leave at 3. Go do our post office run stuff, pick our kid up from school, and then come home.
Yeah, and if it's going to be something super delicate that you're going to have to jump through hoops to make sure it's okay, like when we do a chandelier, I'll only go so low on a price on chandelier because I know it's a big pain in the butt to ship. So, I mean, that's something to think of. I mean, I know this thing, I'm going to be into an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours figuring out how to make sure this thing just goes without being damaged for shipping. You got to figure that into your price. You know, don't take it. Don't cut your throat on an offer when you know the thing's a huge pain in the neck to ship.
I think also with like new people, the shipping is very intimidating, especially when you're first starting out.
I'll tell you a trick on glassware, though. I will say this, and since we started our thing the way we started doing it, we have very few breakage, unless something like the post office runs the box over. We use that sheet foam that we cut to the box, and we take that and, like, let's say you have a piece of glass. I'm gonna wrap it in bubble wrap it. I'm gonna cut a piece of that sheet foam. Like, let's say I'm using a 12 by 12 by 8 box. I'm gonna cut a 12 by 12 piece of sheet foam that fits in that box. I'm going to put that bubble wrap glass on that sheet foam. I'm going to shrink wrap it to that foam, probably put another piece of foam, and that holds that glass in the center of the box where it doesn't bounce around. And we don't really have very little breakage since we started really doing stuff that way years ago.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
There is a video somewhere on YouTube. This guy is teaching you how to pack and ship coffee mugs. And he puts some bubble wrap around it. He sticks it in the small square box, and he sticks it in a side of a padded flat rate.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
And then he rolls it down a staircase. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. The first time I saw the video and I saw him roll it down these stairs, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, if I had done that, it would be in a million pieces at the bottom, just because of the Tom Huck's luck.
Well, I'll tell you the thing that I hate about coffee mugs. This is just my opinion. That coffee mug better be worth $20 or $30, because if it's like a $10 coffee mug that I'm shipping, I don't even want to mess with it.
Yeah. If well, since Kathy's in here, we'll back up and let her catch a couple of things, because we know she's a volume seller. And
well, I ain't got one today.
The only volume she has is on her mouth.
Hey.
All right.
Oh boy.
How has your sales been?
Do what?
In general, all of you, how are your sales been?
Bad the last 2 days. I got some stuff on auction right now that's got bids, but my I was doing really good, and then yesterday sucked, and today is not very good either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got one sale so far today.
I had one that went out this morning. That was it.
Do
And
you
we've
think?
been listening too.
Have y'all noticed a distinct drop since they went to the good till cancel? Do you think that has anything to do with it?
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, let's see.
I think
I
mine was.
just listed it today. Yeah.
I think mine was like bad before that.
It just seemed like all of a sudden it's just dropped off.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to us at least.
Yeah. No, it was good through the weekend. What day is it today? Thursday? Yeah, Wednesday was really bad yesterday, and then today has not been very good so far either.
Yeah. Hit and miss.
Marcel,
Yes, sir.
since you're the boxing shipping person apparently, because Kathy was doing a cop out over here in the chat. What's the weirdest thing you've had to ship?
What's that?
Get up here.
What's the oddest thing that you've had to ship?
Damn.
Go ahead. Think.
We ship some odd things. They're not odd like, you can't ever find them. They're just odd shape, but
Right.
like
Well, that's what I meant.
Well,
Yeah.
those speakers
Yeah,
are
the
really the
speakers.
oddest. Well, not really the oddest
Not
thing,
really,
but
but-
the heaviest.
Yeah. I really don't have anything that's really odd.
We don't sell a lot of large stuff.
No.
Right.
A lot of stuff that we sell are mainly the smaller things. Because we do a lot of, we find that we get more volume, we get more sales with it being local than we do if they had to pay for shipping.
Well, I was doing pretty good with some belly glass that I was selling.
Yeah, belly
That
glass.
I had to, take the priority boxes and put them together, tape it up, and do it, really pack that pretty good. I think that'd probably be it took the most time, that's for sure.
Right. If you were helping someone get started in eBay,
I tell them
you getting down to the shipping part of it, what would you encourage them to do or not do?
take proper measurements and make sure you have a scale that's calibrated.
Yep, I have to agree with Marcel.
He's
Don't
still trying to teach me.
Don't use newspaper balls to ship stuff with.
Yeah. Or toilet paper, or diapers.
Or use a beer box.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't
earlier
use
they
a
were
box.
talking about using, feminine protection pads to ship stuff in, and I'm thinking, I said, I don't know whether y'all were listening then or not. Too bad Todd's not listening, because he needs to, next time he sells a $1,300 18-karat gold watch, he needs to wrap it up in a feminine protection pad, because you don't want it to get wet,
He'd be like, "Oh my god."
Well, that's all I got.
That's it.
So
what's next week about?
I don't know yet.
I
I
won't
gotta
be
get,
here.
I gotta get with my assistant and ask her.
Okay.
McMahon.
I gotta get with my Deborah and see what topic she wants to do.
Yeah, I came up with this week's a while ago and did most of the questions.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There
You
you
got a good assistant there, Tom. You better
She
keep her.
she is good. I'm gonna have to send her a camera or something.
You're gonna
I know.
you're gonna have to start paying her when you get that YouTube money rolling in.
Well, this is way off the subject, but I follow Ann Eckhart, and she just did this video about how much she makes off of her views and how many how many subscribers she has, and then today I was listening to someone else, and I'd have to look back through to find out his name, but he has like 36,000 subscribers which I believe is about twice as much as she has.
Now she's got about 22 or 24,000.
Okay. Well, he's got about a third more than she does. And they make about the same amount of money because he was talking about how much he makes.
Was
Roughly
that a guy
in
from
the $900
England?
a month bracket.
Was that guy from England?
No, but
Oh.
this guy based his video on that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But he was, that's about what. That's what that's about what she makes off of, and she turns out a lot of videos.
Yep, she does.
So,
And she's
I'm
always
gonna get rich off of it.
Yeah, she's always changing like what days of the week, whether she's doing vlogs where they're like, sometimes she'll do where she can only do like one a week, so she puts like the whole week into one.
Yeah, that's like Dusty and Tristan.
Yeah,
Let's sit down for a 3-hour video.
in the car driving somewhere.
Oh, God.
But I love, if they're lurking or if some of their fandom is lurking, I love their videos, and I have commented about their videos, and because if I have, like when Vanya was at Raleigh at NC State, and I would drive from Charlotte to Raleigh, I would just turn on one of their videos and let it play the whole time. That's what I listen to. So
It depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm eating if I'm eating dinner, I kind of want it like a short video. I'll look for one, or if I'm like working, if I'm not with you guys, I'll watch one of the ones that are the longest. And
I watch Dusty a lot, like if I'm sitting down listening, but I still joke with him. I say I have to break it up into it's like North and South miniseries. You got to break it up into like segments, So if I go to do something else, I got to pause it and then come back.
and one day they're wearing this, and then all of a sudden in the next frame they're wearing something entirely different.
I know. I've seen that before.
But it's
the next day.
I like their videos, but I like the videos like Jim and Tara's and Kathy and Marcel's and all the rest of you where you're digging through stuff and you're showing things. I like those. Now that requires your attention because you don't really get anything out of it if you're
just listening.
You're just listening because you don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
you have to actually see it.
I mean, there's one guy that does YouTube videos, and all he does is resale rabbit. He buys a bunch of storage unit, and then he just starts going through them, and I find that so interesting.
Oh yeah.
People, I'll say something about it to my friends, and they're like, "Why do you find that interesting?" And it's
I used to sit there and watch when someone would go to the Dollar Tree and have their grocery haul or something. I was like, "Ooh, that's interesting."
That resale rabbit, he's from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I thought he was up in y'all's neck of the woods.
Well, he's south of me. He's by Green Bay.
Right. Well, I've mentioned him before. I have a friend down in Columbia that buys storage units, and he is basically looking for the goal. I mean, the big ticket stuff. But his mother is 90 years old, and she will sit down and go through, boxes and boxes and boxes of paperwork, every piece of it. And she says she's looking for money and gift cards and stuff like that, or and bearer bonds and things like that. And he's like, no, she's just damn nosy.
Yeah, I'm nosy. I haven't done it in a long time, but Jim would be outside building a crate, so I go sit out there. It might be nighttime, so I'd sit out there and talk to him. And there was a storage unit we bought where she had these notebooks. She made like her diary, and she had all these love problems after her divorce, dating these other guys. So I'd sit there and read them to Jim while he was doing crates. But the creepy thing is, I think he sold her and her he sold her and her husband a house, so he kind of knew who they were in that because we live in a small town anyway. So I'd read like, you know, and she get a little explicit about some stuff she probably shouldn't have wrote down and left inside the storage unit. But you know,
Yeah, if any of y'all out there have storage lockers, go get your shit.
yeah, don't leave indiscreet tapes you might have taped of yourself or stuff you very personal stuff you wrote down about yourself.
Burn it. Don't leave it there.
Yeah, do not leave it there.
It will end up on YouTube.
Yeah, 'cause we have a bunch of them. We're ready to read all.
I've got.
And don't leave the batteries in your toys because they can corrode.
Yeah, we might need to resell those. Thank you.
I got a couple of digital cameras out of a locker, and I had them on my desk, and I said here while she was running some data on her computer, and she just sitting there for a few minutes. I said, look in here and see if there's any data, any memory cards in it.
Oh yeah.
So she said, oh, this one's got one in, and her office computer is a laptop, and then right beside it she has her desktop home one. So she popped it into her desktop, and she, you know, opened it up, and she's like, "My goodness!"
Oh boy,
he was a healthy young man.
He was girthy, is what you're saying?
He was what?
Girthy.
Yeah. And you know what? You need to pay attention to what you leave in places like that.
Yeah.
I'm in America.
There you go.
So, yeah. If you go to storage unit, don't leave any personal pictures, videos, any of that kind of stuff in it.
You will be talked about.
Yeah, you will be talked about. And that's what we're going to have to do, is we're going to have the after hours show.
That confession reseller reading.
Oh my God.
And have show and tell.
Yeah.
If everybody pulls out a few letters and we read them, like, those poetry readings.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I got this whole box of diaries that Dusty, because I told him the story how I'd read Jim while he's cranky. He sent us a whole box of these diaries that this girl in Alabama kept that he had gotten out of his storage unit. Oh man, they are some real
Ooh,
doozies.
she had
naughty.
She had hot pants, I'm telling you.
Oh yes, we've got.
And it's like from like the 70s. It's not like modern. It's like, like 71, 72 or something like that.
It restores my faith in that saying that if a guy tells you how many conquests he had, divide the number he tells you by 10. And if a girl tells you how many conquests she's been involved with, she'll multiply that number by 6. Anyway. Yeah, she was a busy girl. I don't know when she had time to learn anything.
She had a whole different skill.
Somewhere around here, I've got a diary from 1938.
Oh God!
And it was really interesting reading it because she was talking about this girl was like 17, and she was going to a party, and her mother had to go with her because that's just the thing that you did in their social group,
Oh, they didn't have birth control.
1938. It was real interesting seeing her point of view about how things worked. She's talking about the Iceman coming by, and he was real cute. Things like that. It was just real interesting reading.
We had one kind of like that too. That we sold them. Remember that when she ended up in like a sanitarium
for tuberculosis?
Yeah, and then so she is talking all about her time in the hospital and the time period. They were like from the early 20s. It was neat because she would glue little things in her diary, and like she'd like take something like Blatt's gum, which I didn't know Blatt's beer made gum.
Yeah, during
gum.
Prohibition, yeah.
She would like the paper wrapper, she'd glue it in the diary, or like a little like card or some clipping or whatever. It was really kind of neat to go through it just for that kind of stuff, but we sold them. So.
And then we started seeing the stories. And even with the TV, she had hot pants. She still got her.
I need a hot pants.
Listen, 80 years old. We're not.
Bye, so.
I tell you, those guys. I used to be on the morning show with Eric Weber and Bonanno and Dusty a long time ago, and they had a morning. It was like a couple of years ago. They would be talking about these video cameras, like, oh, we get these video cameras, or we get storage units where they have, you know, home movies or whatever. I'm like, I'm never gonna find nothing like that. I think it was the 4th video camera I bought at Goodwill.
The Goodwill bins.
Goodwill bins. Jackpot. Oh man.
It was a video camera with the tape in it.
Yeah, her name was Carol.
No, it's Nancy.
Oh no, it was Nancy. You're right. Nancy should have tracked down that tape before she donated that camera.
But the creepy thing is, because she must have thought she taped over it, and she didn't. Then right after it or right before it, it was like the kid's birthday party and stuff, where you see her like in a normal setting, and it's like really weird.
And then her mom. She's got a whole bunch of brothers and sisters. They're having her mom's birthday party, and every one of them gets up during the birthday party, gets up and gives this dissertation on how their mother is so wonderful and whatever. And she gets up there and gives this whole thing, and she's crying or whatever. But at the beginning of the tape, she's got this ooh la la segment with this guy I'm hoping is her husband. But anyway, it was something else.
She's crying during that too.
I did destroy it.
Yeah, I did Nancy a favor. It went away.
Oh, thank God. Poor Nancy.
So nobody else is going to see it.
Oh, Lord.
Well, guys, we're going to call it an end here. It's 10 o'clock.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank y'all
I
for
guess you
coming
guys are
in.
getting tired, so it's time to go to bed now.
Time I go night night.
Yeah. Thank y'all. Have a good night.
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks,
Ciao.
Thank y'all for coming in.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.